Welcome to our base camp. Not exactly a luxury hotel, is it? But then, my men and I aren't used to luxury hotels. You see, we have never lived the pampered, comfortable lives that you Americans live. However, if there is anything we can do to make your soft little lives a little softer, just ring for room service.
Wait, you promised the doctor for right now! Fine, no, don't try to find him. Don't try. It's not worth it. You're too weak. It'll just make things worse.
You're right, Susan. There's too many of them anyway. It's hopeless.
All right.
Susan, listen to me, okay? Yeah. Look, you gotta stick to our story, all right? You're my wife on our honeymoon. Mm-hmm. And we went down over Ecuador, all right? Did you remember everything I told these guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Look, it's important. It's important. Don't let on about Warren. He could be our ace in the hole. If he gets help, we'll be all right. We'll get out of here. Now, hold on.
There's something I forgot to tell you. I have a little surprise for you. Tráigalo.
This is Search for Tomorrow. This part brought to you by delicious mountain-grown Folgers. Mountain-grown for rich taste and delicious aroma.
They got you, too.
Yeah, they got us over at the clearing. Oh, look at you.
I'm okay. I'm fine. Brian, how you holding out? I was doing all right until now, man. I thought you were out there getting us help. You should have been 40 miles away from here, but...
Try 10.
That's it. You only got 10 miles.
Yeah, the jungle's too thick. You keep hacking away at it, but you don't get anywhere. Yesterday, after I left you guys, I just kept at it till I couldn't go any further. And then this morning, I ran into our friends. And we came back every step of the way.
How'd you get hurt?
Trying to get away.
Oh, that was stupid. They got me again in no time. Warren! Did you tell them anything about the crash?
No, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Thought these folks...
I do, but they're talking some kind of dialect. I only could get maybe every fourth word.
All right, okay. So you didn't tell them anything?
No, I mean, even if I could talk to them, I didn't know what to say. I know you guys were hurt, but I didn't know what they were about. They weren't being very friendly, so I didn't want to lead them back to you.
All right, good. It doesn't matter. Because no matter what, we're in big trouble.
You better believe we are.
Listen, you don't know. I told Miguel, whoever is their leader or what, that there were just two of us on the plane. And I tell you what, he's not going to like that a lot.
Stu, is Mr. Centel here yet?
No, I haven't seen him. Why, were you supposed to meet him here?
Yeah, he called Kristen and told her to be here as soon as possible.
Yeah, he said he was going to call Joe and Stephanie also.
He called Mom?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he said.
As a matter of fact, he did call Joe, but she was out on an errand or something. Keith took the message.
Well, yeah, I told him that she'd be back soon. Maybe that's why he wants us all to gather here. I don't know.
Is he here yet? If you're looking
No.
for Mr. Centel, no, he's not.
Does anybody know what he wants?
No idea.
Didn't he tell you anything?
No, honey, he didn't. He just said he wanted everyone to be here. He also told me not to get my hopes up.
Has something happened?
Now, Joe, stop thinking the worst, huh? Rusty called and wants us all to meet him here.
I got the impression he had good news, but he wouldn't have said anything unless he were realistic, would he? Do you suppose those planes you hired have found something? But I just talked to Rusty this morning about hiring them.
What if it's bad news? What if he got us all together to tell us the worst, and he thought that would be easier?
Because that's not the way I do things, Kristen. I don't want you to get your hopes up too high, but I do have news. They've picked up an emergency signal coming out of the jungle from a place where it's highly likely the plane went down. Will we get some further confirmation? I mean, we haven't heard from Coast Guard headquarters. closed yet. They'll call us here when they get any further information about it.
That soon?
Well, the planes are on their way to the search area right now.
Rusty, I'd like to ask a question.
Well, go ahead. I don't know if I have the answer.
Now, if there was a radio on that plane that was working, why did they wait so long to send out a signal?
Well, the main transmitter was probably damaged when the plane crashed. But the signal is coming from a device that's stored in the emergency life rafts. Now, this device is operated by batteries, and it's water-activated. So if the plane crashed into the jungle, well, that would mean that they would have to find water, which could take a considerable amount of time.
Well, I don't know about you, but that explanation's just fine with me. Yes, it's very encouraging, but you seem to be holding back. Is that because you don't want us to get too excited?
Well, that's partly it. You see, what troubles me is that the area where the signal is coming from has been searched before. The Coast Guard has gone over that area several times, and they saw nothing out of the ordinary, no sign of life.
Yeah, but there could be a very good reason for that, couldn't there? Yes, of course there could. As long as that radio's sending out a signal, I think they're alive.
All right. I think it's about time we talked. You have been lying to me. You know it. I know it. But what you don't know is how much I dislike lies.
Okay, listen, we'll level with you, because we have nothing to hide.
I'll be the judge of that.
We were going to the Galapagos Islands for a vacation.
The three of you?
Yeah. Yeah, why?
Never mind. Go on.
We were forced off course and we crashed in the jungle.
The three of you. That's all. Just dropped out of the sky. By accident, eh?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's the truth, really.
You must think I am quite a fool, eh? Loco. Well, let me tell you something. We have a radio here, which we've been using to monitor the radios of the planes that were looking for you. We know how many were in your party. 1, 2, 3. What happened to number 4? Eh? No answer, eh? Well, never mind. We'll find him.
You don't understand.
Quiet! What's here? You have lied to me, not once, but twice. Now, I keep asking myself, is it possible that you could be hiding something from me? Perhaps you are not what you say you are.
What else could we be?
Very unwelcome visitors. People who have come here to bring more misery to a land that already has more than its share. Our revolution, this movement, is our response to the injustice in our land. But we are very misunderstood by our government, by your government especially. The Americans would love it if we would just disappear. But perhaps they care enough to send 4 of their spies to just help do that. Huh?
That's ridiculous.
Perhaps. But I should warn you. We have ways of getting the information we want. Huh? I will have a private talk with you. Starting with a young lady. You better all learn something. And learn it well. You have been given up for dead. And the only person who can save your lives is me. So, if you displease me... Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I think I'll stretch my legs. Care if you're hungry?
No, thanks. I'll stay here.
I won't be long.
Maybe I should make some sandwiches. It may take a while.
Oh, Joe, not at the moment. Come on now. Nobody's hungry anyway. Will you sit down and relax?
They're going to be saved. I know they are. I know they're still alive. All my prayers are going to be answered.
Sure. It sure looks that way, Joe.
These last few days, there have been some pretty dark moments.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind telling you I had some pretty bad moments myself.
But I guess it is true. We shouldn't ever give up hope. Miracles do happen.
Of course they do. Every day. And you know something? I'm going to reserve today for our miracle.
See, I told you they'd be found. I told you things would work out.
Yeah, you did. And every time you told me, you told me, just like you are now. And I believed you. The kind of effect you have on me. You made me feel safe. I don't know, I'd go home and I'd look in my closet and I'd see Susie's clothes. I'd think about Brian. And I'd get scared all over again.
Then there's only one solution. I'm just going to have to keep my arms around you all the time.
Jenny, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I figured I might as well have just gone down the plane, too. I couldn't imagine living without Warren. He's got to be alive. He's just got to be alive.
Well, if wishing is going to help them get home safely, we certainly have enough here to do the job.
Yeah. Just wish we'd hear something. You know, I can't wait to see him. I can't wait just to sit down and talk and joke like we always do.
Kristen, it'll mean Brian will be coming home, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy for everybody. For Susie, for Brian, for Warren, even Ringo.
Kristen, you can tell him.
Tell him what? Look, what happened today doesn't change anything, Jenny.
But the baby.
Look, there's not going to be any baby by the time Brian gets back. He's not even going to know that there was. All right?
Please. Would you just let us go? Give Brian some help. He needs medical attention quickly.
There is a price for this help you ask. I must have the truth. Where were you going in that plane and why?
I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide. None of us do. Warren, he's the one that your men picked up. Was going on a business trip to Galapagos. Brian and I, we just went along for the ride, just for the fun of it. I wish I could make you believe me.
And the other passenger, the one you didn't feel you had to tell me about.
We figured there was no point in telling you because after the crash, we couldn't find him. We thought he was dead.
Who was he?
He was Warren's business partner. He also co-piloted the plane. Why won't you believe me?
No, it sounds very convincing as you tell it. But just one thing puzzles me. Huh? I can see that you have very strong feelings for the other one, the injured one, this Brian. But I can also see that you care for Warren, the one that my men found in the jungle. Huh? Now, to me, it appears that perhaps you are in love with two men at the same time. Is that right? Now, I have to ask myself, what kind of a woman travels with two men and loves them both? And what kind of men would put up with this arrangement?
Personal.
Nothing's personal. Unless I say it can be personal.
We're all just friends. That's all.
For a man like me, each day brings a meeting with people who say one thing, when just the opposite is the truth. In my world, the innocent peasant is a spy, and the pious priest turns out to be your executioner.
Spies or government agents or anything like that. I wish you would believe me.
The problem is that you never know who the spies are until it's too late. Trae al otro. A doctor has examined your other friend. He has some broken ribs and some internal bleeding. Our doctor will do the best he can to help. But perhaps he will die of his bleeding, and then you will only have one lover. Hey! Leave her alone! Susie! Un señor hombre. In your language, A real gentleman. But for now, my hero, concentrate on the answers you give me instead of her.
All right. I'll tell you whatever you want to know as long as you don't hurt the girl. She's completely innocent.
In the world I inhabit, no one is completely innocent.
Well, maybe not. But she is.
All I see is a pretty lady who's sly enough to have two good friends. One who tries to protect her with brawn, and the other one who uses his brain.
All right, look. Look, I'll make you a deal.
So I was right. You do prefer to use your brain, huh? What kind of a deal?
I'm a rich man. I'm a very rich man.
Just the kind we want to eliminate, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, well, in the meantime, maybe some of my money could be helped to your cause. You could buy a lot of guns, food, supplies. I could have a big chunk of it transferred down here, any bank you want. You just have to promise me something. That you let the girl go.
You have this money on you, or do I have to take a check? You think I'm foolish enough to let one of you leave my camp and go tell the government troops where I am, huh? Maybe you have responsibility to no one but yourself and this pretty face that you travel with, but I have responsibility to many people who depend on me. ¿Qué pasa, soldados? ¿Qué? ¡Llama a todo el mundo al instante! ¡Vamos!
Hemingway went down in Africa, and half the papers in the world reported him dead. But he did come back to tell about it. And last year, a little baby survived a crash. Do you remember that?
We keep talking about it like it was a plane crash. Maybe it was just a crash landing. Yeah, there's a big difference.
Accept the possibility that they did crash. We also have to have faith.
Right. We need that most of all. Now, look, there's no reason not to be optimistic. No reason at all.
Thank you. Goodbye.
It's bad news, isn't it? Doesn't look hopeful.
What is it? What about the signal? Didn't it mean anything?
Oh, yes, it meant something. The search plane honed in on the signal. They found the wreckage. They passed over it several times, but there was no sign of life.
No sign? Are they absolutely sure?
All too sure.
Wait a minute. Maybe they got tired of waiting to be rescued and they went to find a village or something?
The wreckage was burned.
Oh, dear God.
The word out of Washington is that anyone who was on board that plane must have perished. I'm sorry.
I didn't imagine I'd think that, did I?
No, you certainly didn't.
Well, what kind of plane was it? Search plane for us? Or could be a government plane looking for this rebel campsite?
It could have been a passenger plane.
Well, whatever it was, it sent Miguel and his troops scurrying real fast. Now, nobody's been back. It's been over an hour now. That means something.
Oh.
I see you're having a little conference. Let me guess what it's about. Maybe you want my opinion about the plane?
Yeah, Miguel. We know. You're so concerned about our welfare, you probably gave that matter a lot of thought, huh?
Oh, I've given the matter a lot of thought because I am concerned about my welfare and that of my followers. I believe the plane was searching for you three.
You do, really?
Yeah, but how can you be so sure?
The flight pattern. It made several low passes over the spot where your plane went down. With such a low-flying pattern, it's possible the pilot may have spotted the wreckage.
Oh, I hope so.
You offend me. Are you so unhappy with your accommodations?
Please just let us go. We won't tell anybody anything.
I have already told you why that's impossible.
Oh, come on. We couldn't find this place if we tried.
But you couldn't lead anyone back if you never made contact with anybody. True? Besides, I can't take any chance on whoever was in that plane. It could be government spies, more interested in a dead guerrilla than plane crash victims.
Please. Please, for once they come, won't you just consider telling them that we're here?
Come, Miguel.
Come. What makes you think they'll come?
You said if they spotted us here, they're gonna investigate.
I control this countryside for miles around. Everyone knows that. And no one would be foolish enough to venture in, especially thinking that you are not alive.
All right, then why don't you just take us to the end of your territory and let us go?
Is that an order? Are you giving me orders?
No! I was just giving you a suggestion.
You don't understand. I have no problem with what to do with you. No problem at all. My friends, or my enemies, whatever you are, you must face facts. This accident was most unfortunate. Your lives are at this moment in as much danger as when your little plane was going down.